Hey guys, I am sorry that this video is coming a little late tonight. I just wanted to um, make sure that I got a vlog in today because I am trying really hard to get one in every day. Okay, so in this vlog today, I know a lot of people wait until about Halloween time to share their ghost stories and experiences and things like that, but I am a huge, huge fan of horror. I love horror games, I love horror stories, horror movies, horror anything, alright? And I will purposely go out of my way to try and find something scary because it generally gets my heart pumping really good. I'm horrified of clowns and spiders. Those are my two really big ones that I really do not like. Um, and clowns, actually. Spiders, I don't have a legitimate reason to be afraid of spiders, so I don't know why I'm so scared of them, but I am. And clowns, I'll tell you a short story. When I was about 7 or 8, I went to a circus, and we were sitting in the front row, and there were these clowns, and they were, coming around the ring like they do in circuses. And this really tall clown on stilts stopped in front of me. And I looked up at him and I go, "You're really tall." And he goes, "You're really short. Want me to step on you?" Ever since then, I don't like clowns and I don't like people on stilts. So they don't even have to be a clown. But if they're on stilts, no freaking way. Okay, so getting into my story. When I was about 3 or 4, I lived with my sister and my dad, and we lived in Florida on a street called Rosewood. Now, Rosewood, that sounds horror movie enough. That sounds like the epitome of horror movies when you're living on a street. You live on Rosewood Avenue. That's that's scary enough. Okay. So it was a small one-bedroom house, and my dad slept in the living room, and me and my sister slept in one room, in the only room. And we had bunk beds. We had wooden bunk beds, and she slept on the bottom, and I slept on the top. Well, one night, when we were going to sleep, my dad told us good night. He loves us, and me and my sister were falling asleep and everything. Uh, Maybe about the middle of the night, it was pitch black in the room, and I was awoken by a sound. And I was laying on my back, and I looked up, and I saw this figure. And I know this sounds stereotypically off or whatever, but leave it up to my 3 or 4 year old mind. Okay, it wasn't my fault that I saw this. I saw a kind of devil looking man. He was glowing red. It was, mind you, it was pitch black in the room. He was glowing red. He had a smile that curled up and rows of sharp teeth, and he was just smiling at me. And his fingernails were over the bed on the edge near my little feet. And he had these long, sharp claws, and it was horrifying. I can still see him clearly in my head, okay? So I jump from my bed onto my sister's bed, and I decided to sleep down there that night, but I couldn't sleep. All I saw was him. He crawled up onto my bed and was looking down at me. And that's all I remember. That's all I remember of it. And I told my dad, and he was like, "No, it was just a nightmare. Don't worry about it. You're fine. There's nothing there." And for so long, I hadn't been able to get over it. Mind you, I'm 22. This is almost 20 years ago that this happened. Okay, so I'm like, it creeps me out to think about it because I don't like thinking about it because it was so vivid and so realistic that I just never want to think about it again. Okay, so fast forward. By the way, I don't recommend this, but my friends and I were playing with a Ouija board, maybe about 2 years ago, and we were in my friend's room, and we were playing with the Ouija board, and I had made contact with spirits. I know a lot of people don't believe in spirits. I do. Personally, I've had a lot of experiences, which I'll save the rest for around Halloween time because they make for fun stories, and interesting things. A lot of people experience these things. Okay, so we were playing with the Ouija board. We were sitting in her room, and it was me, my friend, her friend, and my best friend's brother, her fiance's brother. And we were sitting in her room, and her friend were up on her bed, and me and her fiance's brother were playing with the Ouija board. And we'd gotten into it, and I'd made contact. For some reason, they didn't want to talk to me that night until right then. So I had made contact, and we were sitting there, and it was fun until um I was like, okay, so what street did I live on when I was little? And it spelled out Rosewood. And I had never told my friend's brother that I lived on Rosewood. So even if he was messing with me up until that point on the Ouija board, there's no way he could have known that. So I started getting a little antsy, and then it started saying things that I could recollect in my dream. I never told him this story before. He did not know it. It was just me and him playing this. It was my friend was on her bed and with her friend. Okay, she was the only one who knew, and I don't think even up until that point did she know that story. So, anyways, it was going in further detail about what happened when I was little with what I saw, and it kind of freaked me out. So long story short, if it was real, I did find out that because I'm still kind of skeptic about it sometimes, but if it was real, I did find out that there was a guy who lived there previous before my sister, my dad, and I, and he was a satanic worshiper. So that was kind of creepy to find out, just a little bit. Um, but I guess that for whatever reason or another, the demon, I guess he conjured up, stuck to me. So that kind of that was a little freaky. Hearing about that kind of thing through a Ouija board, through a spirit board, and I have not played with one since. I don't plan on playing with it again. That was an experience on its own. But yeah, so that happened. Um it's a really freaky thing, and I do not recommend anybody playing with the Ouija board. I know people say that all the time, and you're like, ah, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna play with one eventually. Please just don't. They're horrible. They're creepy. They can bring things into this world. But I mean, obviously, if you're a skeptic and you're gonna play with one, just be careful. Use salt, use white candles, things like that. Things typically just look into it a lot. Do a lot. Do an extensive amount of research before you ever touch one. Okay, so that's my story. That's my vlog for today. I thought I'd share that because it was what I decided to talk about. It came into my mind today, so I was like, okay, I'll share this. This could make for a pretty interesting vlog. So if you like this video, you should give it a thumbs up. You can follow me. My link is in the description to my YouTube channel. Or it's in the description, not subscription. You can subscribe to me though. There's also going to be a link to my Twitter and my Tumblr in the description below. And if you want to, leave comments about your own horror stories. What have you experienced? And if you hadn't experienced anything before, maybe tell me why you think that is. Do you believe in spirits? Do you not? Alright, well, until the next video, guys. Bye!